You know, most people are terrified of someone reading their mind, not because they have dark secrets, but because deep down they suspect their thoughts are far more revealing than they pretend. And tonight, I want you to imagine meeting someone who can see every hidden desire you try not to think about. Someone beautiful enough to make you nervous, confident enough to make you stare, and dangerous enough to smile when she catches you doing it. Because the strange thing about attraction is that the more fascinated you become with someone, the easier it becomes to follow them, to listen, to drift, to let them guide your thoughts. And if a woman could truly slip inside your mind, would you resist her? Tonight's story begins in an ordinary cafe. A tired man, an exhausted life, a rushed morning, and one encounter that slowly turns into something impossible, something hypnotic, because once she looks into his eyes, he begins to realize something terrifying. She isn't guessing what he wants. She already knows. If you've been enjoying these experiences with me, you're welcome to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next time I guide you under. And when your curiosity starts to pull you deeper, you'll find the Patreon details in the description. Before we get into the story, I'd like you to first begin relaxing for me by taking a slow breath in and letting it out. Good. Now another. Breathing in deeply and exhaling slowly. That's right. And as you settle in and begin listening to my voice, you can simply allow the rest of the world to drift further away into the background. No effort, no pressure, just listening, just imagining, just letting your mind become wonderfully curious. Because this is one of those stories that slowly pulls you in. A story that feels strangely vivid, a little dangerous, a little seductive. A story about fascination, about attention, about what it feels like when somebody sees through every layer you usually keep hidden. And maybe there's something intoxicating about that. Something thrilling. Because most people spend their entire lives trying not to be fully known, trying to protect their thoughts, trying to hide the strange little fantasies they never say out loud. But deep down, there can also be a secret desire to finally stop hiding, to stop filtering, to stop pretending, to let someone dangerous look directly into your mind and smile. So just relax now. You are so overworked, underappreciated, always exhausted, always rushing, always feeling like you're somehow always falling behind. Spending your mornings half awake and your evenings feeling drained. And you're quietly wondering whether this could be really all life is. You wake up, work, stress, and repeat. On one particular morning, you stop by the same crowded cafe you always do. And that is where everything changed. Because she walked in, and the moment she entered the room, something happened. Not just to you, but to everyone. Every conversation softened. Every glance drifted toward her. Every wandering mind suddenly locked into place, as if the entire cafe had unconsciously synchronized around her presence. She wore black fishnet over smooth skin, dark glossy lipstick, purple nails, sharp eyes lined in smoky shadow, and she moved with a kind of deliberate confidence that felt impossible to ignore. Not loud, not desperate, not attention-seeking, no. Far more dangerous than that. She moved like somebody who already knew exactly what the effect she had, and never doubted it for even a second. You try not to stare. Try not to imagine. Try not to mentally undress her. But the harder you try not to think about her, the more vivid the thoughts become. And isn't that funny? How trying not to think about something can make the mind obsess even more. Like when someone says, "Don't imagine her lips. Don't imagine the way she smells. Don't imagine leaning closer to her." And suddenly the imagination becomes almost impossible to stop. You look away, then back, and suddenly she is sitting across from you, close, too close. Her dark eyes fixed directly on yours. A slow smile forms on her lips. "Hey, I'm Jacqueline." Her voice is low, velvety, smooth enough to slide beneath conscious thought. And before you could even decide what to say, she tilts her head slightly, smiles wider, and whispers, "You have a very interesting mind." A strange warmth spreads through you. Not panic, not exactly. More like the dizzy, vulnerable feeling of being suddenly exposed, as though she could already see every thought you're trying to hide. And maybe that feeling would be terrifying with anyone else. But with her, it felt strangely exhilarating, because she looks amused, interested, hungry, not judgmental, not shocked, just fascinated, like she enjoys peeling people open, like she enjoys watching them squirm. You nervously try to compose yourself. She simply sips her drink, watching you over the rim of the cup, patient, calm, completely in control. You're wondering if I could really read your mind. Your stomach drops because you hadn't said that out loud. She continues, "And now you're wondering whether I can hear every thought or only the loud ones." You simply stare, speechless. Your pulse begins to quicken, because somewhere beneath the shock, beneath the disbelief, something else had begun. Curiosity. Dangerous curiosity. And she could feel it. You don't have to fight your thoughts with me. You can let them happen. Her eyes remain fixed on you, steady, unblinking, hypnotic. And with every second that passes, you become more aware of her presence, the shape of her lips, the curve of her posture, the slow rhythm of her breathing, the confidence in the way she occupies space. She isn't trying to impress. That was the problem. She already knows she fascinates you. And certainty can be incredibly seductive, especially when paired with attention. Especially when somebody looks at you like they already know exactly how your mind works. She leans slightly closer. So many thoughts. So many fantasies. And you spend so much energy pretending they aren't there. Her voice begins doing something strange to you. Each word seems to linger, sinking deeper, like her voice bypasses normal thought and is settling directly into your imagination. And then she says, "The more you wonder whether I'm really reading your mind, the easier it becomes to imagine what else I might be able to do inside it." A shiver moves down your spine, and suddenly the entire cafe feels distant, muted, like the world outside your table has begun fading away. There was only her, only those eyes, only that voice. And she smiles knowingly as she watches the trance slowly begin to form. You're very responsive. That's adorable. And that word hits harder than it should. Adorable. Not powerful. Not dominant. Adorable. And strangely, you like hearing it. Like the warm little flush it creates in your chest. Like the feeling of being observed, studied, understood. She crosses one leg slowly over the other. You know what's fascinating about the human mind? It wants permission. Permission to relax. Permission to fantasize. Permission to stop controlling itself all the time. Her eyes soften as she looks at you. She smiles. And once someone feels safe enough, they can become wonderfully suggestible. You feel a warmth spreading through you now. A heavy floating warmth. Your thoughts slowing. Not because she was forcing you, but because focusing on her feels easier than focusing on anything else. The pleasant mental drift that happens when fascination becomes stronger than resistance. When curiosity becomes more comfortable than skepticism. When listening becomes easier than thinking. So now, as this story settles gently into your imagination, you can simply breathe. Slow, easy, relaxed, allowing every image, every sensation, every lingering word to drift softly through your thoughts. And perhaps tonight, somewhere between waking and dreaming, you may find yourself remembering those dark eyes, that velvet voice, that knowing smile, the dangerous alluring feeling of somebody who could read every thought you tried to hide. Sleepy now, heavy now, drifting sinking, relaxing, as the story slowly fades into dream, and you can rest deeply, comfortably, completely, until it's time to wake or time to dream even deeper.